Good morning, students. Our sixth chapter name is the importance of oceans. In the previous standard, we have studied the lithosphere and hydrosphere of the earth, the proportion of land and water on the earth, and also the major oceans. Note the area of each ocean given in the following table. In this chapter, we are going to learn about the what is the importance of the oceans. In the previous standard, we are studied the lithosphere and hydrosphere of the earth. That means you are learn about the what is the lithosphere and what is the hydrosphere of the earth, the proportion of land and water on the earth due to earth, and also the major oceans. Note the area of the ocean given in a following table. That means in the first ocean, here given the table, here given the name of ocean, and here given the areas in square kilometer. First here given Pacific Ocean, then Atlantic, Indian, Southern and Arctic. And here given the area in square kilometer. Here given Pacific Oceans 166 lakh to 140,977 kilometer. Then Atlantic Ocean here given 86 lakh 557,402 kilometer. Then Indian Oceans, third is here given area in square kilometer 23 lakh 426,163 kilometer in Southern Oceans. Then 20 lakh 327,000. Arctic Oceans 13 lakh 224,479. That means here given Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and here given the area in square in kilometer. Then next, the hydrosphere included all the water bodies that exist on the earth. They cover all the oceans, seas, river and their tributaries, lake, reservoirs and also the groundwater. Of the total global water, 97.7% is contained in ocean. That means here given the some oceans and their area in square in kilometer, but their hydrosphere included all the water bodies to exist on the earth. They cover all the oceans, seas, river, the tributaries, lake, reservoirs and also groundwater. That means in the hydrosphere there are the oceans, seas, rivers, their tributaries, lake, reservoirs and also groundwater included in there. And the total global water 97.7% is contained in ocean. That means the total global water is 77.7% is contained in the ocean. Here given a, do you know, we always see the living world around us. There is considerable diversity in the living world on land. The living world in the hydrosphere in many times greater than the living world and on the land, and it has much greater diversity to show in the figure 6.1. That means here given the living things in the hydrosphere. Here given some fishes. That means the living world around us, there are considerable diversity in the living world on land. The living world in the hydrosphere is many times greater than the living world on land. Here given a one activity. Use the following integrated in one bowl of the rice flake, that 1 teaspoon oil, 1 tomato and 1 small onion, seeds, chili powder to taste. Mix all the integrated well. Give the mixture to all your friends and ask them to taste it. Now add some salt to mixture and taste it again. म्हणजे तुम्हाला काय करायचं इथं इंटिग्रेटेड म्हणजे काय इथं दिलेले ज्या काही वस्तू आहेत त्या काय करायच्यात मिक्स करायच्यात. हिअर गिवन 1 टीस्पून ऑइल, 1 टोमॅटो, अ स्मॉल ओनियन, चिली पावडर. देन here given activity. What difference do you notice in the dish you tasted earlier and later? Then second question here given, what do you think made the dish really tasty? Third question, for what other purpose do you use the last ingredients at the home? Discuss the source of these. This question is based on your activity, and this question's answer write in your notebook. Here given, do you do it itself? Take some water in a steel dish. It is better if the water is from the borewell. Keep the water in direct sunlight. Do not remove the dish until all water get evaporated. Observe the dish after the water has evaporated completely. What do you see? Let's test the substance in the dish. म्हणजेच तुम्हाला काय करायचं आहे, टेक अ सम वॉटर इन द स्टील डिश. यू टेक द some water in the steel dish. It is better if the water of from borewell. म्हणजेच ते कशाचं वॉटर पाहिजे, बोरवेलचं पाहिजे. कीप वॉटर इन द डायरेक्ट सनलाईट, आणि ते कुठं ठेवायचं आहे, डायरेक्ट सनलाईटमध्ये ठेवायचं आहे आणि त्याचं ऑब्झर्वेशन करायचं आहे. डू नॉट रिमूव्ह द डिश अंटिल ऑल वॉटर गेट इव्हॅपोरेटेड. आफ्टर द इव्हॅपोरेशन then you stay this dish on the observe dish after the water has evaporated completely. What do you see? Test the substance in the dish. Then you must have noticed that after the water evaporated completely, the whitish layer in the left in the dish. If you taste it, you will find that it is a salty. You will realize that these are the salt in the water. In the drinking water, the proportion of salt is quite low. Water from the oceans and seas has greater amount of salt. Hence, it is taste salty. That means this explanation is dependent on this activity. You must have noticed that after the water evaporated completely. That means you do this activity and then observe this experiment. You will notice that after water evaporated completely, whitish layer is left in the dish. म्हणजे whitish layer ची काय दिसते, whitish layer काय दिसते, शिल्लक रिमेन्स राहिलेली दिसते. If you taste it, you will find that it is salty. That means this whitish layer is left in the dish, and the taste of it is the salty. You realize that these are the salt in the water. म्हणजे इथं काय, you realize that these are the salt in the water. In drinking water, the proportion of the salt is quite low. That means in the drinking water, the salt quantity is less. Water from the oceans and sea has greater amount of the salt. Hence, it taste salty. Think the little. Where does the water flowing through the rivers go in the end? Are there volcanic eruption in the seas? Here the next point. There is abundant aquatic life in the oceans, from the microscopic planktons to huge whales. Different type of living things are found in the ocean. Hence, they die. Their remains accumulated in the oceans. That means the abundant aquatic life. That means sufficient. Abundant means sufficient. There is abundant aquatic life in the oceans, from the microscopic plankton to huge whales. That means here planktons to huge whales, different type of living things which are found in the oceans. Once they die, their remains accumulated in the oceans. All the rivers flow from the mountain or hilly area finally meet the oceans. Sediments from eroded land, tree, bushes flowing with the water, dead remains, etc. enter the oceans with the river water. That means in the at the time of the flowing of river flowing from the mountain region or hilly region, and they finally meet to the ocean, and sediments from the eroded land, trees, bushes flowing with the river's flow. At that time, their water, dead remains, etc. enter on the ocean with this river flow or river water. In the both of above process, the dead remains decomposed, released various minerals and salt in the ocean water. आणि काय होतं, the both of the above process, that means in the ocean water they mixed the sediment from the eroded land, trees, bushes and the rivers water, and this in this process the dead remains decompose and releasing various minerals and salt in the ocean water. Volcanic eruption occurs on the land. Similar volcanic eruption takes place in the oceans as well as. See figure 6.3. During volcanic eruption, different minerals, acids, salt, gases are added to the water. These increase the level of the salt and minerals in ocean water. Due to the continuous evaporation of the oceanic water, the proportion of salt increases. All these things make ocean water salty. The salinity of ocean water is different at different places. Salinity is expressed in terms of moles, particles per thousand. This average salinity of ocean water is 35 degrees. The Dead Sea is known to have maximum salinity. Its salinity is 332. Then here given the at the volcanic eruption occurs on the land, as like the volcanic eruption occurs in the land. Similarly, volcanic eruption takes place in the ocean. Here given the figure 6.3. During the volcanic eruption, at the process of volcanic eruption, different minerals, acids, salt, gases which are the added in the ocean water, and this increase the level of salt and minerals. That means ज्यावेळेला इरप्शन होतं, काय म्हणतात, व्हॉल्कॅनिक इरप्शन होतं सी मध्ये, त्यावेळेला मिनरल्स, ॲसिड्स, साल्ट अँड गॅसेस काय होतात, ॲड होतात. ॲट दॅट टाइम दिस इन्क्रीज लेवल ऑफ द साल्ट अँड minerals. At that time increase the level of salt and minerals in the ocean water. Due to the continuous evaporation of ocean water, the proportion of salt is increases. That means when the continuous evaporation process takes place, at that time the proportion of salt increase in this ocean. All these things make the ocean water is salty. All these things or all these processes are responsible for the ocean water is salty. The salinity of ocean water is different at different places. That means the salinity of oceanic water is different at different places. Salinity is expressed in terms of moles, and this salinity expressed in terms of moles means particle per thousand. This average salinity of ocean water is 35. And what is the average salinity of oceanic water is 35 degrees moles. The Dead Sea known have to maximum salinity, and Dead Sea maximum salinity Dead Sea is known as the maximum salinity. Its salinity is the 332 moles. We obtain the salt from the salty water. Salt as a substance is obtained by constructing salt pans in the coastal areas. Figure 6.4. Salt in items in our diet. Many minerals like phosphate, sulfate, iodines, etc. are obtained from the sea. We depend on the oceans to some extent of the minerals. That means we obtain the salt from the salty water. म्हणजे आपण water salty water पासून salt मिळवतो, and salt as a substance is obtained by constructing salt pan in the coastal areas. When the many minerals like phosphate, sulfate, iodines are they obtained from the sea, and we are dependent on the oceans to some extent minerals. Where did all this water on the earth come from? Many of many of us included fish in our diet. We go to fish from the river, lake and sea. The proportion of the fish in sea is much greater than those in river and lakes. Catching marine animals is a large scale activity the world over. It is one of the ancient occupation of the human being. Though food is the major purpose of the activity, marine animals are also used for the production of the fertilizers, pharmaceuticals and also research. In India's peoples mainly consume prawns, clams, calves, silfish, surmai, mackerels, pomfrets, Indian shark, Indian salmon. That means in many of us included the fish in our diet. We get fish from the river. म्हणजे आपण fish कुठून मिळवतो? River, lake, seas, and proportion of fish is much greater than those rivers and lake. Catching marine animals in a large scale activity on the all the world over. It is one of the ancient occupations of the human being, though food is the major purpose of this activity. Here given the some name of the fish. In the India's people mainly consumed prawn, then clam, crabs, silfish, also name is surmai, mackerels, bangda, pomfret, Indian shark, and then many other type of marine animals are consumed in the different part of the world. That means many type of the fish occurs in the world. This the life of people from the countries that have the coastline largely depend on the sea, especially if there are a few other occupations